It's always the quiet moments that hit the hardest. The creak of your knees before the coffee brews, the stiffness in your fingers as you try to button your shirt, the way your back tightens, just getting out of bed. And you wonder, is this what every morning is going to feel like now? You're not alone in that question. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, more than 72 million American adults are now living with diagnosed arthritis or arthritis-like symptoms. That's nearly 1 in 3 adults, and the number is rising fastest among those over 65. It's not just the physical pain. It's the frustration, the loss of freedom, the plans you cancel, the stairs you avoid, the walk you used to enjoy, now cut short by joints that don't cooperate. I understand how that feels. And if no one has said it to you lately, you're not weak, or lazy, or dramatic. You're living with a real, daily challenge, one that robs you slowly. But here's what I want you to hear today. There is still hope. Because while you may not be able to rewind the clock, you can start giving your joints what they need to heal gently, naturally, and from the inside out. And surprisingly, that healing might begin with what's already in your kitchen. Not a supplement, not a new medication. But certain fruits, real whole foods backed by science, have the power to help your body calm inflammation, reduce pain, and even repair the tissues that arthritis slowly wears down. We're going to walk through 3 of them today. You've probably seen them before. But after this, you'll never look at them the same way again. So, if you're tired of feeling like pain controls your day, and you're ready to take back some control, stick with me. 1 bite at a time, your healing can begin. And if this sounds like the kind of help you've been needing, feel free to subscribe. It means a lot, and it helps more people like you find real answers that actually make a difference. Let's begin. If your joints feel stiff, swollen, or just locked up in the morning, you're not imagining it, and pineapple might be more than just a sweet snack. It could be one of nature's most effective anti-inflammatory tools, hiding in plain sight. The key lies in bromelain, a powerful enzyme found mainly in the core of fresh pineapple. Bromelain has been studied for decades, not just for digestion, but for its unique ability to reduce inflammation at the source, especially in arthritic joints. In a 2016 review published in Biomedical Reports, bromelain was shown to significantly lower pain and stiffness in people with osteoarthritis, particularly in the knees. Researchers even found it to be comparable in effectiveness to certain NSAIDs without the stomach and kidney side effects. How does it work? When you're living with arthritis, your immune system tends to overreact. It sends out inflammatory messengers like cytokines, which trigger swelling and joint destruction over time. Bromelain helps interrupt that cycle. It naturally breaks down those inflammatory signals, quieting the immune response so your body can begin to heal. But that's just one part of the story. Pineapple is also rich in vitamin C, a key building block of collagen, the tough, flexible tissue that cushions your joints. Without enough vitamin C, your cartilage breaks down faster than your body can repair it. So by eating pineapple, you're not only calming pain, you're helping rebuild what arthritis has worn down. And there's more. Pineapple enzymes support digestive health, which is tightly connected to joint health. A healthy gut means better absorption of nutrients and a calmer immune system. When your digestion is off, inflammation tends to spike everywhere, including your knees, hands, and hips. One of my patients, Linda, age 69, struggled with morning stiffness so bad she had to sit on the edge of her bed for 5 minutes just to stand up. I suggested she add a cup of fresh pineapple to her daily smoothie. Within 2 weeks, she told me, "It's not gone, but I'm not dreading the mornings anymore." Now, not all pineapple is helpful. Canned pineapple often comes loaded with syrup, and added sugar only worsens inflammation. Stick with fresh or frozen, and if you can, include some of the core in your smoothie. That's where the bromelain is most concentrated. This isn't a cure, but it is a gentle, consistent way to give your joints something they can actually use. Not a pill, not a cream, just food with purpose. And we're just getting started, because the next fruit on our list doesn't just soothe, It helps your joints sleep, detox, and rebuild. You've probably seen it in a summer pie, but never thought of it as medicine. If pineapple is nature's enzyme-rich relief, tart cherries are its quiet anti-inflammatory warriors. They may look small, but what they carry inside is something your joints desperately need. Tart cherries are rich in anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep red color. But these aren't just for show. Anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants that help block enzymes linked to inflammation, particularly the same COX-1 and COX-2 pathways targeted by drugs like ibuprofen. In other words, tart cherries work on the same inflammatory pathways as over-the-counter pain meds without the side effects. In a randomized controlled study published in the journal Osteoarthritis and Cartilage 2013, patients with knee osteoarthritis who drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 6 weeks reported a significant reduction in pain and stiffness. Even more impressive, their blood tests showed lower levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation. That's not just symptom relief, that's internal change. But the benefits go beyond daytime pain. Tart cherries are one of the few natural sources of melatonin, the hormone your body uses to regulate sleep. If you're living with arthritis, you know that poor sleep only makes the pain worse. Inflammation tends to spike overnight when the body doesn't get enough deep rest. By supporting better sleep, cherries help give your joints a fighting chance to recover. And if you suffer from gout, this fruit becomes even more relevant. Gout is a painful form of inflammatory arthritis caused by high uric acid levels that form sharp crystals in the joints, often in the big toe, ankles, or fingers. Several studies, including one published in Arthritis and Rheumatism, 2012, found that people who consumed tart cherries regularly had a 35% lower risk of gout flare-ups compared to those who didn't. That's a significant drop simply by adding fruit to your diet. I remember one patient, Harold, he's 67, retired firefighter, strong guy, but he would wince just bending his toes some mornings. He started drinking a small glass of unsweetened tart cherry juice in the evening. After a month, he didn't just report less pain. He was finally sleeping through the night. Of course, not everyone has access to fresh tart cherries year-round. That's okay. Frozen cherries, 100% tart cherry juice, or tart cherry concentrate are all great options. The key is to avoid added sugars, which can cancel out the benefits. One small glass in the morning, and maybe again before bed, is a great way to ease inflammation, improve sleep, and support joint recovery, all without reaching for a bottle of pills. Cherries won't fix everything, but they're consistent, gentle, and surprisingly effective. That's what natural healing looks like. And as we continue, there's one more group of fruits that may surprise you. They come in many colors, grow in small clusters, and you've probably eaten them your whole life without knowing just how much they do for your joints. Let's explore them next. After cherries, the next offenders of your joints come in all shades of red, blue, and purple, and you've probably got a few sitting in your fridge right now. Berries, simple, sweet, and surprisingly powerful. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, these aren't just healthy snacks. They're packed with polyphenols, a class of plant compounds known to fight inflammation, oxidative stress, and even slow the breakdown of joint tissue. One of the most studied polyphenols in berries is quercetin, which acts as a natural immunomodulator. That means it helps calm an overactive immune system, the same kind that mistakenly attacks your joints in rheumatoid arthritis or keeps inflammation simmering in osteoarthritis. Quercetin blocks the production of inflammatory cytokines, helping reduce swelling and joint stiffness from the inside out. But that's not all. Berries are also rich in vitamin C, which, as we touched on earlier, plays a vital role in collagen production, the building block of cartilage. When your body lacks collagen, joints lose their cushion, their shock absorption, and their ability to move smoothly. Over time, this leads to grinding, friction, and pain. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that people with higher vitamin C intake had a 45% lower risk of developing inflammatory polyarthritis. That's not from supplements, that's from food. And berries are one of the most delicious, convenient ways to get there. Let's look closer. Blueberries, for example, have been shown to reduce oxidative stress in people with arthritis. Oxidative stress is what happens when inflammation goes unchecked. It damages healthy joint tissue and accelerates cartilage breakdown. Blueberries help stop that process before it gets worse. Strawberries, on the other hand, shine when it comes to lowering C-reactive protein, a blood marker of systemic inflammation. A 2010 study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that participants who consumed strawberry powder daily saw significant reductions in CRP levels after just 12 weeks. And raspberries contain ellagic acid and resveratrol, two anti-inflammatory compounds that may help preserve cartilage and slow joint degeneration. For people trying to maintain mobility as they age, that's no small benefit. I had a patient named Diane, 71, who struggled with chronic joint pain in her wrists and knees. She'd already cut back on red meat and added some light walking to her routine, but progress was slow. We added 1 cup of mixed berries to her breakfast each morning, fresh when available, frozen when not. Within a month, she reported less tightness and better energy in the afternoons. It wasn't a miracle. It was a habit that worked with her body, not against it. That's the thing with berries. They're not some exotic superfood you need to hunt down. They're affordable, available, and adaptable. Add them to oatmeal, blend them into smoothies. Sprinkle them on Greek yogurt, or just eat them by the handful. Frozen berries are just as powerful as fresh, sometimes even more so, because they're picked at peak ripeness. The goal isn't perfection. It's consistency. A cup a day is often enough to begin reducing low-grade inflammation and support the rebuilding process your joints desperately need. And when you combine that with fruits like tart cherries and pineapple, you're not just relieving pain. You're building a routine that supports real, long-term healing. Up next, we'll bring it all together. I'll show you exactly how to use these 3 fruits in a way that fits your day without overthinking it. Simple steps, real relief. By now, you know the what. Pineapple, tart cherries, berries of all kinds. They're not just nutritious, they're therapeutic. But knowing which fruits help your joints is one thing. Actually building them into your day consistently, without stress, that's the real key. And that's where most people get stuck. Not because they don't care, but because it feels overwhelming. So let's make it simple. You don't need a complicated plan, expensive supplements, or a color-coded schedule. What your joints need is consistency, and what your life needs is ease. 1 or 2 small shifts, repeated daily, will do far more than a perfect routine that lasts 3 days. Start with pineapple. A cup a day is enough. If you like it fresh, cut it up and store it in the fridge for the week. If chopping feels like a chore, buy it pre-cut or frozen. Just check that there's no added sugar. You can eat it cold as a snack, mix it into a smoothie with almond milk and spinach, or even pair it with dinner. Some of my patients love it with grilled chicken or mixed into a salad for a sweet anti-inflammatory twist. With tart cherries, your best bet is often juice or concentrate. Aim for a small glass in the evening, about 4 to 6 ounces, ideally unsweetened. That helps calm inflammation before bedtime, and the natural melatonin may also help you sleep more deeply. You can also use frozen tart cherries in smoothies or cook them down into a warm compote over oatmeal. If you find tart cherry concentrate, a tablespoon mixed with water works just as well. Now for berries, they might be the easiest of all. A handful in your morning yogurt, a cup blended into your smoothie, strawberries on toast with a bit of nut butter. Blueberries, straight from the freezer, eaten like candy. You don't need fancy recipes, just put them where sugar used to be. Swap the evening cookie for a bowl of cold mixed berries. Replace soda with a simple berry smoothie. Small switches like these can help your body heal without forcing your routine to change overnight. One of my patients, Ruth, told me she used to forget to eat fruit until mid-afternoon, when her joints were already flaring. We worked together to create a fruit-first habit. Now, before coffee, she has water and a bowl of berries. That's it. Within weeks, she noticed fewer flare-ups and smoother mornings. "I'm not perfect," she said, "but I feel like I'm finally helping my body, not fighting it." That's what this is about. Not perfection, not pressure, just daily support your joints can count on. You don't need to do all 3 fruits every single day. Rotate them, mix and match. Find what feels good in your body. Even 2 or 3 servings across the day can have measurable impact over time. And no, it's not too late to start. The body responds to care at any age. In the final part, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture. You'll see how these tiny choices, when repeated with care, can lead to something bigger, a new relationship with your joints and with your health. Maybe you've made it this far and you're thinking, can fruit really make that much of a difference? It's a fair question. After all, arthritis isn't a minor ache. It's a constant, draining presence. It stiffens your mornings, slows down your afternoons, and steals joy from the simple things. So no, pineapple, cherries, and berries won't erase it overnight. But here's the truth you deserve to hear. Every small choice adds up. Pain is built over time. So is healing. When you add just 1 serving of the right food, when you swap something processed for something whole, when you feed your body instead of just treating symptoms, that's momentum. That's your body getting what it needs to fight back. I've seen it in my patients. A few weeks in, they aren't running marathons, but they're standing up a little easier, walking a little longer, smiling a little more. That's not luck. That's biology finally working with you, not against you. And when those small choices become habits, everything changes. You begin to feel less like a patient and more like a person in charge of their body again. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just start with what's on your plate. It might be a handful of blueberries before breakfast, a cup of pineapple with dinner, a small glass of tart cherry juice before bed. Nothing fancy, nothing extreme. But done consistently, it sends a message to your body. I'm here, I'm trying, I'm not giving up. If you've watched to this point, I want to thank you not just for your time, but for your courage. It takes strength to keep searching for answers, especially when the pain has been there for years. And if no one's told you this lately, you're not too old, too late, or too far gone to feel better. You deserve joints that support your life, not limit it. You deserve mornings that feel possible, days that feel steady, movement that doesn't come with dread. And if you believe that too, even just a little, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, Golden Health. Because every week I'm here to give you honest, practical ways to support your body naturally, without hype, pressure, or false promises. Until next time, take care of yourself, one small step at a time. And remember, the path to healing doesn't start in a clinic. Sometimes it starts with what's already in your kitchen.